The best gaming monitors take your PC gaming to the next level. Those building an ultra-powerful rig or buying one of the best gaming PCs will want one of the best monitors to make their games look as good as possible. Gaming monitors are capable of displaying crisp images, vibrant colors, high resolutions, and fast frame rates, all with easy-to-navigate menus and plenty of options to optimize your gameplay experience. Some gaming monitors are even curved, which helps keep every inch of the screen within optimal distance from your eyes. We have listed the top 5 gaming monitors and the key features, plus the things you need to consider to help you choose the best one for you. Links to all the products mentioned in the video are in the description below. You could also find a more detailed analysis and a comparison tool on our website, guidinggear.com. Number 5. AOC 24G2 Limited to a budget of around $200, don't despair. A high refresh monitor with a decent IPS panel is within reach and could be a top gaming monitor for a lot of folks. Enter the AOC 24G2 and is closely related to AOC 24G2U sibling. Inevitably, some compromises have to be made. The 24G2U are mere 24-inch monitor with a modest 1920 by 1080 resolution, otherwise known as 1080p. The difference between the two? The 24G2U adds a USB hub, good for a seriously zappy 1 millisecond pixel response with both variable refresh rate support and low input lag mode. They run a full-sum 144Hz. Of course, that's a far lower resolution than a 4K panel with just 1/4 the number of pixels. But then fewer pixels means more frames and lower latency, which might just give you that critical edge in your battle royale or team-based shooter of choice, be that Apex Legends or Call of Duty. One obvious omission for us, spec-wise, is HDR capability of any kind. But then, very few monitors deliver a true HDR experience from our experience. So at least AOC doesn't tease you with the promise of HDR only to ultimately disappoint. What's more, with slim bezels and both height and tilt adjustment, this panel doesn't feel or look like a budget option. Number 4. MSI Optix MAG274QRF-QD. If you like your games to look extra colorful, the MSI Optix MAG274QRF-QD is the best gaming monitor for your rig. This monitor posted the widest color gamut, 112.19% of DCI-P 390% of DCI-P would be impressive. So this is one color saturated screen. Contrast is also strong for an IPS panel, hitting 1129 1:1 ratio after our calibration. And for those concerned about the speed, this 165Hz screen kept up with 170Hz GB M27Q in our testing. Color purists though, however, will lament the lack of an sRGB mode, considering the MAG274QRF-QD's sRGB coverage is at 166.33%. Its backlight stroke for fighting motion blur is also a disappointment. You can use adaptive sync with it. The brightness goes down by 50% and it creates ghosting that results in a parallax effect with fast motion. In addition, this is yet another gaming monitor to offer HDR, but without any noticeable image boost over SDR. Number 3. Dell S2722DGM. Much like the mystical ways of the Force, PC gaming is all about balance. There's little point weighting your system too heavily in one direction without paying attention to the whole package. Why bother pairing your RTX 3080 with a 60Hz 1080p screen? The classic 27-inch Dell S2722DGM marries that screen real estate with a 2560 by 1440 native resolution, which gives you a great pixel match for fine detail. At 1440p, it's also a decent resolution for getting high frame rates without the GPU demands of a 4K display. It's also capable of delivering that resolution at 165Hz, which is appreciated. At 2 milliseconds gray-to-gray response is just a hair behind the 1 millisecond and 0.5 millisecond ratings of the best IPS panels, so you're covered when it comes to speed. You can find quicker panels if you really want to chase speed. This VA panel does have a high contrast ratio, at least given the technology's inherent strong contrast. As for picture quality, the Dell S2722DGM is a reasonably punchy and vibrant monitor considering it's a pure SDR panel. The strong inherent contrast certainly helps with that, ensuring you don't feel shortchanged running games like Cyberpunk 2077, which support HDR in SDR mode. We'd steer clear of the MPRT mode, which hammers the panel's brightness and vibrancy. Extreme mode, which is rated at 2 milliseconds, does suffer from a whiff of overshoot. But that's only just visible in-game, while super fast resolves the overshoot but allows a little smearing of darker tones. USB Type-C connectivity doesn't feature, but the dual HDMI and a single DisplayPort connection are just fine, even if the HDMI ports top out at 144Hz rather than 165Hz. The Dell monitor is most importantly available at a great price. Dell delivers high-quality gaming panels with all the features you need and a few extraneous ones to bump up the price. Number 2. Asus TUF Gaming VG289Q1A. 4K doesn't always mean you have to spend a fortune, and the Asus TUF Gaming is proof. By putting down a little over $300, you'll be getting that impressive resolution and a whole lot more. First, talking about the HDR, as the Asus TUF Gaming VG289QA1 supports a 10-bit color depth to show substantially more shades of color than your typical monitor. The IPS on this monitor also gets brighter than the typical monitor to let highlights pop. It can boost shadows too, so you won't struggle to see what's going on in darker scenes of your games. Now, because this monitor only boasts a 60Hz refresh rate, it may not be ideal for competitive gaming where a higher refresh rate can offer a competitive edge. But the high resolution on a 28-inch panel will offer exceptionally crisp values for you to enjoy the detail in story modes. And thanks to FreeSync support, you won't have that perfect 4K picture marred by screen tearing. Number 1. Samsung Odyssey Neo G9. 49 inches, 240Hz, 7 million pixels, crazy 1000R curvature, and 1000 nits not enough? Then how about the new Samsung Odyssey Neo G9? It ups the original G9's 1000 nit ante to a slightly silly 2000 nits, and also ups the price point to even loftier levels. Arguably more important isn't the peak brightness, but the fact that the old 10-zone edge-lit backlight has been ditched in favor of a cutting-edge 2048-zone mini LED backlight. In theory, that's a huge upgrade. In practice, it's a bit more complicated. This is a big screen, and so even with that many zones, the granularity of the backlight control is actually quite crude. But when it's performing at its best, the Neo G9 puts on a spectacular HDR show that few, if any, monitors can match. It might be one to skip for console play for now. The likes of LG's 120Hz C1 and CX OLED TVs are better matched for that from a big screen perspective. But for pure PC gaming, the Neo G9's wrapped around immersion is awfully hard to beat, so that's why this is the best ultrawide monitor you can buy right now in the search for your best gaming monitor. Buying guide. There are a few things to keep in mind before choosing which display should grace your desk. Screen size. Larger display sizes can lead to more immersive gaming experiences as the game fills more of your field of vision. Aspect ratio. Most widescreen monitors have an aspect ratio of 16:9, while older monitors have a closer to a square format of 4:3 that might feel pretty outdated in 2022. Ultrawide monitors with an aspect ratio of 21:9 are rapidly growing in popularity as they offer a wider view of your games. Resolution. The higher number of resolutions, the sharper the picture. You will, however, require a more powerful graphics card for anything over Full HD. Refresh rate. The higher the refresh rate, the more frames per second the monitor can support, leading to a considerably smoother gaming experience. A 60Hz refresh rate is still the most common in 2022, but refresh rate of 144Hz and even 200Hz are becoming more prominent. Response time. An excellent gaming monitor offers low response times, which means you're getting fast and fluid actions, with little to no input lag. When you're playing games competitively, it's vital to keep this number as low as you can in order to avoid latency. Panel type. TN panels, which are often more affordable, have the lowest response times, but usually don't come with great viewing angles. IPS panels have fantastic viewing angles and color reproduction, but usually have higher response times. Meanwhile, VA panels are between the two, although its slow response times makes these panels rare in the gaming world. G-Sync and FreeSync. These help keep frames per second smooth, combat screen tearing, and minimize input lag. G-Sync is developed by NVIDIA, so it requires an NVIDIA GPU. FreeSync was made by AMD. Let us know in the comments which model works for you the best and why. Thank you for watching the video, and that is all for this one. If you find this video helpful in any way, give a huge thumbs up, stay tuned for the upcoming videos by subscribing to our channel. Hope to see you in the next video. Till next time, see you guys later.